Hey, expert investors, Paul here. The biggest question we get, or at least one of the biggest questions is, how did you save up for your first down payment? Now, if you're watching this, it could be that you're starting in debt, or it could be that you haven't saved up a massive down payment yet, but you're not making enough income, or you're living paycheck to paycheck. Well, I'm going to share with you a little system that I was taught over 12 years ago that I used to save up for my first down payment, okay? So this is the ultimate savings plan to free yourself from debt and save up a massive down payment so you can be an investor and get all the freedom, exit the 9-to-5 grind, and achieve that financial independence that you want. So you need to open up 6 bank accounts. 6 accounts, okay? Yes, I said 6 accounts. Okay, the first one is going to be your general account. The next one, your financial independence account, FIA. The third one is going to be your charity account. Your fourth, called your play account. Guess what? You can do some playing there. Your fifth account is your long-term savings account, or if you're having to pay debt, this is where you're going to pay your debt from. And your last, but certainly not least, is your education account. Because if you're going to be an investor and get that financial freedom, you're going to have to spend some money educating yourself. University and high school doesn't count, okay? So this is how it works. Let's say you get a check for $1,000, okay? You get a check for $1,000. Most people are going to deposit that money into their general account, okay? So $1,000 goes in. Okay, and now we have to divvy up that money. We have to divide and move that money into the appropriate accounts. Okay, now there's a percentage formula that we have to do. Minimum 10% has to go into your financial independence account. And that's, you put that money in there before you do anything else. Before you contribute to charity, before you go to a baseball game or a hockey game, or go out with the boys and girls drinking, before you pay off any debt, and before you spend money on education, you contribute to your financial independence account. Because you have to remember what the #1 priority is, folks. If your #1 priority is exiting the 9-to-5 grind and getting financial independence, well, guess what your first step is, okay? Next, 10% to play. I like to put it here second because it makes me feel good to know that I have some money to go and, have some fun, spend time with my friends, and just enjoy life. And the trick here is that you have to, at the end of every month, you got to spend all your play money. If you're just saving your play money, it's just another savings account. Go out at the end of each month, before the end of the month, go have a party, have a couple of drinks a couple times a week, whatever you got to do, but spend this play money. Next, at least 10% goes here. If you're paying off any debt, you would put the money in here and then use this account to pay off whatever debt you have. Credit card debt, student loans, whatever it has to be, whatever consumer debt is going on as priority to pay off immediately, but without sacrificing your financial independence account. Okay, next, you want to put at least 5% here to charity. Okay, and I'll be honest with you, we work with some charities, one particularly called $1 Million Smiles, where we build parks in children's backyards who are not able to go to the public park for whatever reason, because of their disability or the disease that kind of handicaps them. So we build parks there, and I contribute enough money to build a park for at least one kid every year. But that doesn't, I still have money left over. So what I do with the rest of the money that's left over is I use it for gifts. So I rain gifts on my kids and wives and family wherever I can with the rest of this money. Okay? It's kind of a little cheap, but it makes everybody feel good, and it keeps especially the wife happy. Just a little note there. Last but not least, 10% goes to your education. And if you skip this one, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. Because the only other more important investment than your financial independence is in your education. And the more you invest in your education, believe me, your level of financial independence is only going to increase. Okay? So without investing here in yourself, you can't invest here and free yourself from that 9 to 5 grand that everybody wants to get out of, okay? And the remainder, if we do a count, so we got 10%, 10%, 30%, 40%, 45%, you would leave 55% here, okay? So if you were putting in $1,000, $1,000 would go in here, and then you would divvy out all the money. So you'd have $100 in here, $50 in here, $100 in here, at least $100 in here, another $100 in here. Oop, that's a terrible 5. And $550 in here. Okay, and with your general account, this is very important. This is where you want to be paying your regular everyday expenses. Paying for gas, buying clothes, obviously food, shelter, rent, mortgage payments, whatever it is has to come here. But here's the kicker. If your living expenses exceed your general account, guess what? You're going to have to lower your lifestyle to match your account. Okay? And a lot of you probably just turned off this video right now because I told you to lessen your lifestyle to match it, but that's a sacrifice you have to make in the short term to have massive gains in the long term. The one way I did that is that when I moved into my first property, instead of buying a nice big single family home like all my friends, I bought a 2-unit property. I bought a property where I could live on the main floor and rent out the basement because it was just me and my wife. And eventually it became me and my wife and our first daughter. But we were okay because we had lots of space, a little backyard, 3 bedrooms. It was great. Actually, one of my favorite properties. And we were able to save a ton of money because the tenant we had in the basement was helping us pay a big chunk of our monthly expenses. So I was able to live well under my means. Now, I'm not saying you should sell your house or move into a 2-unit property tomorrow, but it's an idea to help you. That's how creative you have to be here. And if you can do this for a number of years, you can start adjusting these payments. As your expenses get less, you can start contributing more and more to your financial freedom account. As you start paying off your debt, now you have long-term savings for spending. So if you're buying a new car, if you want to put in a pool at your house, and it's not really an investment, it's not really a general expense, you have that money all sitting there. It's a perfect system. And if you can do this for at least a few years, you're going to get yourself out of debt and get yourself a big down payment. Okay? This is the master plan. That's the big secret. If you have any questions, let me know.